Hello everyone, this is Pallavi Serene back on the Straight Line Talks. We are over here with the KAS aggrieved aspirants. You know, the Straight Line has already been covering the entire KAS issue diligently, and now a new order has come out staying the interview process for. And we are here with the KAS aspirants asking, is litigation the only way out? So the order has come out and the interview process has been stayed, but there has been no further development. What next?
Thank you very much, Pallavi ma'am, for giving an opportunity to say a few words on this case on 16 exam mess. First of all, I would like to thank the Chief Justice of Jammu and Kashmir, Geeta Mittal ma'am, for taking suo motu cognizance of this entire matter and intervening in this process. Ma'am, the judgment order clearly says that the interview process has been halted till further hearing, that is 28th January.
Everyone knows about that, but what next? What next?
Ma'am, the next course of action would be like, we'll wait for the next hearing. But ma'am, to be very honest, as far as case examination is concerned, every candidate, either they are the ones who are shortlisted for PIs and the one who have been who are aggrieved, they are totally in distress and disturbed. There's no doubt about that. You are asking that is litigation the only solution. Ma'am, I don't think any aspirants who has worked day and night for this exam would like to go to court.
But it has been in the court for so many years.
Exactly.
Almost all the previous exams have been in courts for various reasons. So what do you think? What is the reason that almost every aspirant has to go to the court to put his view forward? Why not JKPSC? Why don't they take the matter into their own hands? Why don't they improve their own process?
So I think, ma'am, litigation is not the only way out. It becomes the only way out when the commission refuses to listen to us, when the commission pretends that we don't exist. So even when we, the aggrieved candidates, approach the commission first, we approached them first and we asked them to rectify this mess. They refused to do so, and they said that whatever has been done is right. The correction, the list is out. There's nothing that can be done. It was then that they compelled us to knock on the doors of the court.
But don't you think that when this happens, now you have gone to the court and stayed the interview process, again the interview will be stayed until the court hearing comes and until the verdict comes out on what will happen with this entire mess. What if, some of you might get in if manual checking is done, if the court hears your version, and some of those other candidates who have already been selected will be ousted, and the entire interview process will go further delayed. So won't there be more aggrieved candidates afterwards, and the entire process will just go on continuing in a vicious circle, and again the further KAS aspirants will be aggrieved?
Ma'am, absolutely. First of all, we have to understand that what is JKPSC for? What is the Public Service Commission for? It is a constitutional body. Why has it been given the status of a constitutional body? So that it does its job neatly and precisely. Right? The recruitment process has to be absolutely neat. JKPSC has been given constitutional status, it has been given resources, it has a panel of experts at its disposal, it can hire experts from outside, and so that they can carry this process very neatly without any external influence and in a time-bound manner. If, for example, Union Public Service Commission is doing their IAS examination in a one year calendar, what is wrong with our JKPSC that at even state level they are not able to conduct the same kind of examination for around 3-4 years? It takes them 5 years to conduct a single examination. Ma'am, the only solution to this is judiciary is the last recourse. It's not the solution. Why have we made institutions? We have made institutions to deliver services to us, right? They are not able to. They are not being able to deliver services consistently.
But have you made a representation to the governor, right? Regarding this entire mess. Did you ask him that maybe you should correct the entire procedure that JKPSC follows, that maybe you should take steps that will improve the institution itself rather than just sticking to one matter?
No doubt about that, ma'am. We have time and again demanded institutional and functional changes in the Public Service Commission, ma'am.
In your representation made to the governor, it was mentioned.
The point is that unless you make drastic changes in the function of Jammu and Kashmir Public Service Commission, the system will not restore. To be very honest and precise, the aggrieved aspirants have somehow lost trust in the Public Service Commission today. They don't trust them anymore. even if the papers are manually
What if,
evaluated.
what if they are manually evaluated and still most of you don't get
The
in?
point is,
What
ma'am,
will be the next step?
The point is that the candidates have demanded that the manual evaluation should be done by an independent body, not by PSC itself. It should be done by either by UPSC or under a supervision of any expert committee or any higher personalities of the state, bureaucrats, as the justice deems fit. Ma'am, to be very honest, as far as Jammu and Kashmir Public Service Commission is concerned and this entire 2016 KAS exam is concerned, this was dragged to court time and again, and as the judiciary has come as a rescue, the institution has failed.
But
time
what
and
if
again.
that demand is also agreed, but the difference that you're making between meritorious candidates and the ones who have gotten that have been ousted and the ones that have gotten in, your previous evaluation of your own exams are also dependent upon JKPSC's checking. So what if in the independent body checks your exams and most of you do not get in? What then?
So, ma'am, if we don't get in, if we know that the re-evaluation has been conducted under the supervision of a neutral committee, if we know that it has been evaluated by UPSC and we still don't get through, then fine, we accept that.
Then what will be the way forward? Will you still give KS exams the next year?
Not me. No,
Would you?
Not me.
Ma'am, I will definitely give KS examination, but until and unless the system is more transparent, more robust.
What if JKPSC doesn't make any changes? Your exams are checked by a manual body and you do not get in. Would you still give the exam?
I'll tell you. In the present existing system of Jammu and Kashmir Public Service Commission, we cannot see our answer scripts. In 2014 exam, the outcome was many candidates filed an RTI. And still the Jammu and Kashmir Public Service Commission has not showed them their answer script.
UPSC also does not show you your answer script. Then?
You're absolutely right, but the chance of error in UPSC examination is very less. If you look at the past experience in Jammu and Kashmir Public Service Commission, and if you want to restore the institution to its glory, there has to be certain institutional changes as far as the commission is concerned. Because when you lost trust in an institution, you cannot retrain it in over a night. It's very simple, ma'am. The candidates have lost trust in the institution. You have to make it transparent first. Until and unless the system is restored, you cannot bring in reforms that make system more rigid and opaque. In the present existing system of Jammu and Kashmir Public Service Commission, neither you can see your answer keys, not in your answer scripts. RTI, especially in Jammu, is a sham. Many of the candidates visited.
But not going on that far. How many times have you given the KS exam?
Ma'am, thrice.
Thrice.
was
And
the
all
third
3
attempt.
times you haven't gotten in?
Yeah, ma'am, the point is not that who has gotten in and who has not gotten in. For example, those who have gotten in this time, there are also our brothers and sisters. The point is about the functioning of an institution. It's not about
That I agree with, but
Yeah.
if your demand gets accepted, some of you might get in, most of them will get out. Don't you think they'll hate you for it?
Ma'am, again, it's the same point. It's not about whether Kamal gets selected or whether me gets selected. The point is, if an institution like UPSC is doing it credibly, if our JKPSC is doing it credibly, then whosoever gets selected, it's fair enough. It's fair
Still,
enough.
how can you question them? Just apart from the past experiences, this time they've had a digital evaluation, right? How can you question it when you haven't gotten in 3 times and now you're saying that you have been ousted? Maybe you are meritorious, maybe you're not. How can you question that what they made an error and not you?
Yes, ma'am. There are many. When we write a question paper, for example, when I wrote it last time, I knew that there were certain discrepancies with me. I was not prepared full. This time I was preparing from the last 4 years at a stretch. I had literally given off my job, and I was consistently studying. I was on leave and consistently studying. And
Many students do that and they still don't get in.
yeah, ma'am. The point is when the institution is credible like UPSC, you accept your defeat. When the institution is not credible and committing mistakes at every point, then you tend to question them. Ma'am, for example, Honorable High Court has stepped in now. Though of course, and they have stayed the process. There has to be some merit in the case. That's why they have stepped into and stayed it. Otherwise, why would they stay the process of a constitutional body? There has to be something fishy there. Then only they had stayed it. That is the point, ma'am. And one more thing, very important thing. The debate should not be that who is qualifying and who is not qualifying. Right. The debate is about the functioning of institutions. And one more very important point. Very important point is that when a constitutional body like JKPSC is absolutely it's not under the domain of executive, but at the same time, if the constitutional body is not functioning properly and is functioning arbitrarily, there are provisions of impeachment. Currently, our state is under presidential rule. President is well within his authority to appoint a committee, and if any wrongdoing is...
So is that one of your demands as well in your court?
Exactly, we demand that there should be disbandment of the commission, because this credibility is at stake. Commission should be held accountable, not the agreed aspirants, not any other lot. Personally, ma'am, there is a saying a lawyer once said that a dog knows when it's being stumbled and when it's being kicked out. When this entire on 4th December this result was declared, and there were many aspirants who used to study in libraries. They never hit roads. This is the first instance in the history of Jammu and Kashmir Public Service Commission that many candidates, and that too there's a huge lot. We need to understand that 277 is a huge lot. And a candidate who has already appeared in 2 to 3 interviews and he has performed equally well this time, at least PSC should.
But all that was done previously when there was manual checking. Now there's digital checking. Do you think that digital checking is all that is to blame?
Digital checking, ma'am, is only part of the problem actually. Digital checking is, it's one of the reasons that the error occurred. But we also feel that it's deeper than a mass error. There is also a scam angle to it. I'm sorry to say I have to say this, but yes, I think there's.
But would you say that the people in JKPSC did all this just to accommodate their own peers?
To a certain extent, we could say that.
All of them, all the candidates that got in.
No. It's not a completely bogus list, but yes, there are candidates who are there only because they have well-connected parents or well-connected families, well-connected uncles, aunts, etc.
So, yeah, in the end, just tell me one thing that after, what happens now? What happens now? After the hearing is done, what if everything is not in your favor? Will you just go back home and quit?
No, ma'am. Actually, we have somehow challenged the system. These are some of the candidates who used to spend hours studying, and today they are on road. They don't belong to any student organization or any social activist organization. They are actually students who have really worked hard for this exam. Right now the matter is in ambit of court. We will not protest because that will be sheer amount of contempt of court. Because it isn't the entire matter is sub judice. Ma'am, we have faith in judiciary. We have faith in our Indian constitution. I feel justice will prevail, and there's something called as rule of law. And everyone is entitled to it. And we somehow have faith in judiciary because time and again the Jammu and Kashmir High Court has restored that faith, and every time when we have challenged the irregularities and discrepancies in subordinate high courts and divisional bench and single bench, the judgment has been in favor of the candidates, and PSC was held accountable. In the last judgment of DB, ma'am, the Honorable Justice remarked,
but just the last question, and a very relevant question, you all have prepared a lot. Why not trust UPSC and then go for IAS instead?
Ma'am, I would like to answer that question. That why not? Why don't we appear for UPSC and rather than our wasting our time here? Fine, we will appear for UPSC and we are confident enough to qualify that also. But the point is, what will our JKPSC do? What is the mandate of JKPSC then? Whom should it recruit? There is an adage in public administration that the role of a public service commission is to keep the rascals out and to pick out the meritorious, to the best in the business. If UPSC is doing it, you are also supposed to do that. It's as simple as that.
But will you appear for UPSC for next time?
Ma'am, that is my personal prerogative. That is my personal opinion, and that I would like to keep it to myself only.
All right, and you, if the judgment is not in your favor, would you still be continuing with this? Would you appear for UPSC, or would you still continue trusting JKPSC and hoping for reforms?
No, I won't trust JKPSC any longer because I know what I wrote and I know also what happened. And also, ma'am, UPSC, I don't know if I'm going to prepare for that, so I'll answer your question first. That's another thing I don't know because I'm working, so I'm not sure if I'm going to prepare for it at all. But actually, this is not just about merit versus non-merit. It's actually a larger battle of transparency versus this opaque kind of functioning. It's a larger battle against the high-handedness of government institutions who think they can ruin the careers of anybody they like just because they are well connected. This is a larger battle, and if they ignore it now, then this is going to snowball into something larger, which might even sweep away the entire order that they are now trying so hard to preserve. So they should not ignore it.
Thank you. You've already heard how JKPSC MES has united people from Jammu and Kashmir as students have gotten on the roads protesting against a reform in the institution. They want that JKPSC should also be something credible, something amazing like UPSC. On that note, I like to end it. Pallavi Sareen signing off.